right, she lost an election, and now she's projecting. Hillary Clinton went on The View this week, which immediately raises a serious question. What's the weight capacity for that stage? But you'll never guess what she talked about. Her love of gardening, the things she does to stay healthy, how much she adores catching and cooking stray kittens. Nah, it was Donald Trump, as expected. But it's like I always tell Taylor Swift, girl, you gotta move on. Seriously, Trump doesn't just live in Hillary's brain. He's built a 500-unit condo with in-unit laundry and a rooftop lounge.
When Greg Gutfeld decides to fire shots, no political heavyweight is spared, and Hillary Clinton is no exception. In a roast dripping with sharp sarcasm and cutting truths, Gutfeld strips away the polished facade of political theater to reveal the Hillary behind the staged smiles and scripted lines. From the infamous email debacle to foreign policy misfires, no subject is taboo. This isn't just political commentary, it's a comedic wrecking ball with perfect aim.
Registered voters said any Republican would be better than President Biden, prompting one woman to legally change her name to N.E. Republican. In Washington, D.C., the giant grocery chain has announced a ban on large bags. Great, now where will I shop? Complains one large bag.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Now picture this, you roll out of bed, sip your overpriced Starbucks, and think, what the world really needs today is more wisdom from Hillary Clinton. Because nothing says unity quite like a politician who's spent more time sidestepping scandals than a raccoon dodging headlights in an alley full of garbage cans.
Hillary Clinton argues Joe should be, quote, direct and forceful, end quote, against Trump in the CNN debate. Yeah, direct and forceful, just like the noose I put around Epstein's neck. If I did it.
Right on cue, Greg Gutfeld rolled out the verbal demolition crew, and trust me, this wasn't a gentle critique. This was a Category 5 comedic storm, think verbal napalm. A public spectacle and all the finesse of a bulldozer and a crystal shop, but let's pace ourselves, we've got a Clinton roast to serve hot.
Warning signals that you were gonna lose? Well, too bad you didn't bother to visit the states you ended up losing, you potato-shaped wine bag. But would he even be worse now?
I think that he'd be even worse now.
Yeah.
Because he was somewhat restrained, believe it or not,
Wow.
in the first term by people who he hired because he thought they would go along with him, and they...
If political comebacks were a sport, Hillary would hold the championship title in missing every shot like a poorly written sequel. She pops up every election cycle with a new pantsuit and a refreshed sense of moral superiority. It's poetic. In a way, if poetry were written in Comic Sans by consultants who barely scraped by an ethics class.
They're going to try to ignore him for as long as they can because they're deathly afraid of him. And they're going to do to him what they did to me in the Democratic primary of 2020, which is pretend you don't exist. And then if people start noticing you, then they will try to smear and cancel and destroy him at all costs.
I remember what Hillary did to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she's still standing and
baseless smears that repeated over and over and over again by the propaganda media until people actually start to believe it, and it starts causing some real damage.
But on the bright...
Let's rewind the tape, shall we? Back to when private email servers lived in basements. Benghazi was just a dot on the map, and delete wasn't just a button, it was a lifestyle choice. Because nothing screams public trust quite like erasing 30,000 emails faster than a teenager hiding texts from their mom.
Asking Hillary what will happen if Trump is reelected, which is odd because Hillary's an expert on not getting elected. I wonder, does she think it would end our country as we know it?
I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I hated losing, and I especially hated losing to him because I had seen so many warning signals during the campaign.
Greg Devin without hesitation, eyes sparkling like someone about to drop Mentos into a Diet Coke. Except here, the soda was Hillary's legacy and the Mentos were sarcasm-packed truth bombs. He peeled back decades of carefully polished PR, as easily as tearing into a bag of chips, flavor, sour cream, and political delusion.
Why, lefties always get all the commencement addresses, and they love to spout their opinions on award shows because they know there's no journalists there that will ask them a question. And the reason why, and he's the perfect example, none of their opinions are actually real. They are all assigned.
And then came the 2016 election, the brunch-ruining plot twist of the decade. Hillary was supposed to win. Everyone from Hollywood elites to the ghost of FDR had the tweets ready. But America had other plans. Yeah, no thanks, she handled it with grace, if grace means touring the country blaming Russians, sexism, Macedonian memes, James Comey, gluten, and possibly even gravity. Gutfeld wasn't gentle, he blasted through every excuse like a kid on unlimited tokens at an arcade.
Democratic Party's pocket since Hillary stopped having sex.
That's like decades.
Yeah. Losing the union endorsement is like P. Diddy running out of baby oil. There's a whole lot of friction ahead. When Teamsters polled their members about the Dems' new candidate, Cackles McKnee pads.
Of course, the Clinton Foundation got its turn in the spotlight. That shining beacon of, what exactly, charity, transparency, or just a family business wrapped in nonprofit branding. Millions poured in, the world stayed the same, Greg compared Hillary's Wall Street speeches to a customer service call. Except the rep was paid 6 figures to reassure billionaires that everything was fine.
The alleged creator of the plan was Julianne Smith, a Clinton policy advisor that the unclassified Durham report refers to as Foreign Policy Advisor 1. And this woman, look how happy she is. She's like, I got away with everything. I nailed it. And then Obama made me the liaison to NATO. I mean, not Obama, Biden. Like I continue to get employed by these people because all I do is sit around and do the illicit bidding of my Democrat power boss.
Then there's her sudden reinvention as the truth's fiercest defender. This from someone who once claimed to be dead broke while owning enough property to win Monopoly. Her relationship with truth is about as natural as a veganetta. Texas BBQ tense, awkward, and full of contradictions. Greg pointed out that Hillary's public relatable moments feel as staged as a low-budget commercial, beer sips, subway rides, even breathing on cue.
Is wild. This is Hillary Clinton in like 2008, and Hillary Clinton saying some wild MAGA type shit.
Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If
She's a Republican.
they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
You have to wait in line. It's
You couldn't
all
believe
a
that.
illusion.
But the grand finale, Gutfeld's jab that Hillary has the magic touch to doom anything she endorses. Candidate loses, policy crashes. If she backed gravity, things would float. The Clinton strategy remains deny, deflect, and never accept blame. Watching her claim to be a fresh face in politics is like watching a VHS tape challenge TikTok.
Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 16.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
She first of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate.
Greg didn't break a sweat. He rattled off facts with sarcasm sharp enough to slice through a tax audit. Hillary didn't need to be in the room. The roast was cooked to perfection, and, like a recurring sitcom villain, she'll be back. Memoir in hand, just in time for another round. The political train keeps rolling. Self-awareness not included.
That Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever.
She appears on cue, perfectly dressed, delivering lines loaded with passive-aggressive wisdom and grinning like she's in on a secret. She'll say, we must protect democracy. But it lands like a phishing email wrapped in a TED Talk. Greg's roast didn't just poke fun, it tore down the set and let the audience watch the pieces float away.
Dare she? She puts out this tweet, and it's a picture of her, a much younger Hillary, and the caption on the hat reads, but her emails. And she writes in her tweet, bringing this back in light of recent news. Get a limited edition but her emails hat and support Onward Together groups working to strengthen our democracy. The nerve The nerve of this woman to have committed federal crimes and to have gotten off because James Comey didn't have the spine to bring it.
Greg closed by comparing Hillary not to a wise mentor, but to a corporate HR manager with an email problem. The crowd loved it because someone finally said, "What's whispered at family dinners, Hillary?" S. brand is a walking contradiction. The roast landed because it forced her image to face reality, not the consultant-approved version. But the raw truth, in the end, Hillary isn't just part of the political tea, she is the tea. Bitter, oversteeped, and impossible to ignore.